Hi everyone and welcome to this video where we will be walking through sales cutoff testing in Alteryx. So let's hop over to the computer and see how easy this is to do. Alright, so what you see on your screen is the interface for Alteryx. And so Alteryx is another data manipulation, data analysis software. And the notable feature for Alteryx is that you work with data visually. And let me show you what I mean by that. So say we want to do our sales cutoff testing. In Excel, we would write formulas. In Google Colab, we would write code. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to pick this tool and drag it into this area here, which we call the canvas. So this is the input data tool. And what this does is it allows us to import data. So I'm going to say set up a connection, and I am going to open up the file that I have given you for this lab. And so I'm going to tell Alteryx to pull in this file. It gives me this window, so it asks me which sheet in that Excel file that I want to look at. So here I want to pick up the sales data, and I'm going to click OK. And you can see Alteryx is recognizing the fields that are in there, the observations that are in there. And so it's displaying the first 100 records, but we know from looking at the Excel file there's about 900 records in there. And you can see all the fields and everything. Okay, so now we have this data coming in, and this is the sales data. Remember, we picked the sales data tab here. What I want to do is match that sales data with the shipping data to determine whether or not all the sales were actually shipped. So I'm going to drag another input data tool in here into the canvas, and then I'm going to set up a new connection. I'm going to go to that same file, and I'm going to pull in, instead of the sales data tab, I will say the shipping data tab, and I'll click OK. Alright, and so now we have these two file input tools, and what I want to do is I want to put these together. So I'm going to go up top, and you'll notice at the top of Alteryx there's tools related to join. Join means putting two sources of data together. So this is the tool we want right here. There are other ones, but in this particular case we're doing a join, and I'm going to drag this into the canvas. And what I want to do is I want to keep all the columns from the sales data tab and add the shipping columns from the shipping data tab into a new spreadsheet. So how can we do that? Well, I'm going to do what's called a left join. So I'm going to drag the arrow here, and my left hand side data is going to be my sales data, and my right hand side data is going to be my shipping data. Okay, and then if we click on this join tool, it's asking us how do we want to join these two sources of data. Well, I want to match these on order number. So on the left hand side, the sales data, I want to match the order number in that data to the order number that's in the shipping data. And I also want to match on customer number. Okay, we're going to do a left join, so you don't need to select anything there. The way we drug these arrows, where you see how I drug it to the L and the R, that is what identifies the left and the right. Okay, so you see down here, here's all the columns that we could possibly include in our output. I'm going to deselect some columns here, so I don't need the order number twice. It's going to be in the sales data already, so I'm going to, in the shipping data, I'm going to exclude that column. I'll exclude order date. I'll keep shipment number, shipment date, delivery terms, delivery carrier. Let's leave the tracking number, but I don't need the customer number because I already have it up here. I don't need the customer name either, so I'm going to exclude that. Alright, the next thing we need to do is we want to change the format of some variables here, or some fields, so that we get better matches. So the order number I'm going to change to a string. I'm going to leave order date as a date. Order amount is a double, so that's just indicating it's a number. Invoice number, I'm going to change this to string. Invoice date, I'll leave as date. That's fine. Customer number, I will change to string. Customer name, I will also change to string. And then down here in the shipping data, I'm going to change order number to string. And even though I'm not including this in the output data, I unchecked it. It's important that I change this because I want this order number's format to match the format of this order number. So they both have to be strings, otherwise we're not going to get any matches. Same thing with shipment number. Shipment date I'll leave as date. Delivery terms, I'm going to change this to string, not double string. I'm going to change delivery carrier to string. Tracking number to string. Customer number, customer name. Let's change customer number to string, and customer name will change to string again. Okay, so we have all this set up, and now the warning message goes away because we properly set that up. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to output what I get. And what I want to output is all of the data from the sales data. So I want to keep everything that's in this sales data tab and simply add columns from the shipping data tab. And to do that, I need to make this union that I drug into the canvas, right? This tool up here. I want to include in that both a left and a join. And this will allow us to keep the data that I want. I want to keep everything that's in the sales data and also add to it the fields from the shipping data. All right, so last step here is after that's all done, I want to output this. So I'm going to go back to in out, and I'm going to output this data into an Excel file. And I'm going to say set up a connection. I'm going to say Excel, and I'm going to call this, you can see I've been working on this before the video, but I'm going to call this merged data, and I'm going to call it version 4. I'm going to click save. You can call it whatever you want. And then I'm going to save it to a sheet called sheet 1, which is fine. I'll click OK. Now we're good to go. Everything's set up. I'm going to click this run button up top and see what happens. All right, so it says down here, we get some warning messages. So delivery carrier, it's not present for all inputs, which is to be expected because we know that we have some sales that were reported where the product was never shipped to the customer. So there are going to be cases where a match is not found. And then you see down here it says 900 records were written to this new data. So if I want, I can go to my files and look in, and by the way, I'm in the University of Arkansas's remote desktop right now, and by default that saves the data to this downloads folder. So I'm going to open up this file, and we should see the result that we're looking for here, and it looks like that we do. Columns are kind of scrunched, so I'm just going to select all the columns, and then up here I'm going to put a filter. So I'm going to say data filter, and what I want to do is I want any cases where there was no shipment number found, I want to output those specifically because these 30 that are on the screen right now, what this is suggesting is this is a sale that was in the sales data, but when we went and tried to match it with a shipment in the shipment data, there was no record found. So these would be cases where we potentially have a sale recorded even though the product was never given to the customer, which is an issue, or potentially an issue, and this would require some additional investigation. But that's it. So that's it for this lab. You can see it's the same end goal that we went through with Google Colab, but it's a little bit different way of approaching it using a different software. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon.